Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Girard-Perregaux Heritage Laureato. This watch is available from Chronex.com for €9,600. You can purchase the watch from Chronex.com online or alternatively in person at their boutiques. All their watches are Chronex certified original by their in-house watchmakers, and all their watches are covered by the Chronex 24-month warranty. So firstly, let's look at the box that the watch comes in, and then I'll talk you through the other items one gets with the piece. So the watch comes in a wooden watch box, which is protected by this cream coloured outer cardboard box, which one removes. And this is the watch box itself. It's made from solid wood, as you can see, and it's engraved with the Girard-Perregaux brand logo and also the emblem, and it says Swiss Haute Horology since 1791. So Girard-Perregaux was founded in 1791, and the Laureato was first released in 1975. So I'll show you the interior of the wooden watch box. As you can see, finished to perfection, absolutely beautiful to look at, and the watch sits in the centre of the base on a padded pillow cushion, as one would expect. So immediately one gets the impression that the Laureato is a high tier piece and it is high quality. With regards to the other items, this is the owner's instruction manual. As you can see, it's very thick because it's translated into multiple foreign languages, clear concise diagrams and clear instructions. It details every aspect of the Laureato heritage, including the movement used, which is the caliber GP 03300-0030. One also gets this plastic warranty card, and lastly, one also gets this leather tag with Girard-Perregaux on it, as you can see. So, with regards to the specifications of the piece, firstly I will give you the background to the Heritage Laureato. Girard-Perregaux was founded in 1791, and they first released the Laureato in 1975, so I'll explain where the name Laureato comes from. The name Laureato is inspired by the 1967 film The Graduate, because The Graduate translated is Il Laureato. So they released it in 1975, and then in 2016 Girard-Perregaux released this Heritage Laureato, and this was to celebrate the 225th anniversary of the brand. So they made 225 pieces with a blue dial and 225 pieces with a silver dial. This is one of those numbered 225 anniversary pieces. So this one is number 186 of 225, and I'll show you that to confirm it. If you look at the case back closely, you can see it says 225th anniversary, and on this side it has number 186 of 225. So this confirms that this is a Heritage Laureato, one of the 225 made with silver dial. So with regards to the specifications of the piece, it has a 41mm case diameter, it has a 47.9mm lug to lug measurement, a thickness of 10.5mm, and the integrated lug width at the interior is 14.4mm. So the integrated H-link bracelet tapers from 14.4mm is the internal dimension. It tapers down to the 2-button push deployant, and as you can see, the 2-button push deployant clasp is signed with the GP brand emblem, as you can see. Good firm resistance to the 2-button push triggers to the deployant, and it opens very easily. Flawless mirror polishing to the top side, underside and flanks, and I like the firm resistance of the spring-loaded 2-button push triggers. So this is an example of the very best of deployant clasp. The deployant clasp was first invented by Cartier, and then it was subsequently used by many other brands, including Girard-Perregaux. It closes with a nice positive click to both the left and the right hand portion, and it's just absolutely beautiful to operate. So with regards to the rest of the specification, we have a double dome sapphire crystal with clear AR coating on the underside, and this is some of the best clear anti-reflective coating I have ever seen on a watch. It's highly effective. The silver applied indices and the silver baton hands are mirror polished to a very high standard, as is the GP brand emblem at 12 o'clock, which is applied to the dial. The dial has a very aesthetically pleasing textured finish, which is called the Clou de Paris. And the Clou de Paris dial is just absolutely gorgeous to look at. I love the textured finish to it, and it looks very nice with the silver matte finish to it. Date complication at 3 o'clock. White date wheel with black Arabic numerals is clearly legible. I love the symmetry of the dial, and also the chapter ring is fully indexed with 60-minute ticks. So very well executed hand finishing, and also the needle point sweeping second hand is also finished to perfection. With regards to the crown, it's a screw down stainless steel crown, coin edge finished, and it is embossed with the GP brand emblem. It's a screw down crown, and it provides an effective hermetic seal to 30 meters, which is perfectly acceptable for a daily wear piece. So let's test the crown action. Absolutely silky smooth. This is one of the best executed screw down crowns I've ever experienced on a watch. It just feels silky smooth. No resistance whatsoever, no friction. The interface between the internal thread of the screw down crown and the external thread of the stainless steel crown tube are perfection personified. So in the first position, it's the manual wind position, and one can manually wind the caliber GP03300-0030 to top it up to its maximum 46-hour power reserve. Absolute pleasure to manually wind it. One can feel the tension in the mainspring gradually building up. Pulling it out to the first click position is the quick set date complication, so rotating the crown clockwise advances the quick set complication, as you can see. Nice light action to the quick set complication. One can feel the positive clicks of each day clicking over. So it's just absolutely delightful to operate. Pulling it out to the second click position is the time setting position. So the movement has hacking. As you can see, I've now hacked the movement. One can stop the second hand dead to set the time precisely to the second. Nice firm resistance to the caliber. I really like the feeling of it. It feels like a good solid movement. Silky smooth both clockwise and anti-clockwise. No back play whatsoever. Pushing it back in, it's got a nice positive click, and that restarts the movement. So let's test screwing it back down. Immediate thread pickup. This is one of the greatest crown executions I've ever experienced on a watch. It's just incredible. The quality of the engineering of this heritage Laureato is just outstanding. It really is silky smooth. It just feels so smooth. The threading picks up immediately, and there's no friction whatsoever. And I'm actually surprised it's only got 30 meters of hermetic seal. I'm absolutely confident this would withstand 100 meters of hermetic seal. I think Girard-Perregaux are being very conservative by stating it has 30 meters. So with regards to the screwed down exhibition caseback, it's another one of my favorite features. Very low profile, as you can see. Flawless mirror polishing, and it's engraved with 225th anniversary and number 186 of 225, as I've detailed, because this is a heritage Laureato piece. The screw down exhibition caseback is glazed with sapphire crystal, and unusually the sapphire crystal in the exhibition caseback has anti-reflective coating on the underside. So it has AR coating on the front of the piece and AR coating on the reverse of the piece. And that means one can clearly view the movements, the caliber GP03300-0030. Absolutely gorgeous to look at, the movement through the exhibition caseback, and it's engraved to a very high standard, as one would expect. The quality of the finishing to the underside of the head of the piece is flawless, and also the integrated H-link bracelet. As you can see, the end links are finished to perfection. The bracelet itself is just a work of art. Flawless mirror polishing to the centre links. This is a pre-owned piece from 2018, and as you can see, it is in perfect as new condition. Absolutely gorgeous lustre to the brushed satin finish H-links and the mirror polished centre links in the H-link bracelet. The articulation of the H-links is just incredible. No extra play, no sharp edges. Brushed satin finish to the flanks. One detail I really like about it is it tapers in width down to the 2-button push to points. But the bracelet also tapers in thickness. It's thicker at the integrated lug end, and it gradually tapers down to the 2-button push clasp. And it's just fantastic the way it articulates. It's silky smooth. It's one of the best executed bracelets I've ever experienced. With regards to the head of the piece, the longitudinal brushed satin finishing to the flanks is just incredible. Gorgeous lustre to the 316L grade stainless steel, as you can see. Flawless mirror polishing to the hexagonal bezel, which is screwed into the head of the piece. And also there's a nice chamfer machined on the edge of the case, which marks the transition between the tops of the integrated lugs and the flanks of the case. The bevel is just absolutely gorgeous. It runs the full length of the case. Absolutely flawless finishing. Now, unfortunately, I can't give you a wrist shot because this has been sized to fit a smaller wrist, and therefore I can't get it across my hand. But however, I can tell you that the bracelet and the clasp are just incredible. really good positive action to the 2-button push to point. Right, so let's do a Lume test and we'll see how the Lume performs when it's charged up to the absolute maximum. So as always, I'm going to use my 100 UV LED torch to charge it up to the absolute peak. Right, so that's now fully charged, and as you can see, this has not disappointed. This has actually exceeded my expectations. Just look at the incredible quality of the Superluminova used. This is top grade C3 Superluminova. The baton hands are minimalist. They are very slender, but this is clearly 5 to 6 layers of application of top grade Swiss C3 Superluminova, because even on the slender baton hands, the Lume is glowing incredibly brightly. This is some of the brightest performing C3 Superluminova I have ever witnessed on a watch. The baton hands are also very low profile, but despite that they still have 5 to 6 layers of C3 Superluminova applied. As you can see, the Lume is glowing incredibly brightly, and it will continue to glow for a good length of time. So the absence of the 12 o'clock index on the dial is acceptable due to the applied silver GP brand emblem, and the orientation of the dial is outstanding. One can clearly differentiate between the longer minute hand and the shorter hour hand. Absolutely incredible performance. This is 10 out of 10 C3 Superluminova. Right, so let's discuss the movement used, because it's one of my favourite aspects of the Heritage Laureato, and it's reason alone to purchase this piece. So the movement used is the caliber GP03300-0030. It's one of the greatest Girard-Perregaux in-house calibers ever made. It has 27 joules. It runs at 28,800 vibrations per hour and a frequency of 4 Hz. It has hand winding and hacking, which is used for complications, and it has a 46-hour power reserve, which is perfectly acceptable for a daily wear piece. Now, the negative of the movement is that the rotor is unidirectional winding. Now, personally, I prefer automatic movements to have a bidirectional winding of the rotor. I like the rotor to be able to spin clockwise and anti-clockwise and have the both have the same winding effect. But it's a curiosity of this caliber. The rotor has to spin anti-clockwise in order to wind the movement. When it spins clockwise, it has negligible winding effect, so therefore it's not as efficient. But however, the build quality, the quality control, and also the accuracy of the movements are all outstanding. 46 hours of power reserve is very good. With regards to the finishing, it is just incredible. Coats du Genève finishing to the bridges of the movement, and on the main plates we have pelage finishing and blued screws, so it's a highly decorated movement. I also like the high quality engraving to the rotor, which is fully gilded. The engraving is gilded, as you can see, and also the bridges of the movement are engraved to a high standard, and they are also fully gilded. So it's a beautiful movement to look at through the sapphire glazed exhibition caseback, which has AR coating on the underside, as I've discussed. Now, with regards to the accuracy, this one is running consistently at plus 3 seconds per day, which is actually within COSC chronometer limits of -4 to +6 seconds. So it's an accurate movement, it's reliable, and also 46 hours is a very good power reserve. No negatives to it other than the fact it's a unidirectional winding movement rather than being bidirectional. But however, it's very slim and low profile, and that's something I want to bring to your attention because it's one of the main benefits of this piece. This is one of the thinnest automatic watches I have reviewed on my channel. Even though it has a double dome sapphire crystal, it is only 10.5mm thick, and that is very impressive, bearing in mind it has a screw down exhibition caseback which is glazed with sapphire crystal. Normally the exhibition caseback adds significant thickness to the piece, as does a double dome sapphire crystal. 10.5mm is the kind of thickness one would expect to see with a manual wind or a quartz powered piece. Usually with automatics, because they have a rotor on the underside of the movement, that adds additional thickness to the movement, and therefore the case needs to be thicker in order to house the rotor. The caseback also needs to be a bubble profile rather than flat. To get an automatic piece like this at only 10.5mm is just incredible, and it's a credit to Girard-Perregaux, because really the Laureato Heritage is one of the greatest pieces they have ever made. 10.5mm for an automatic piece with 46 hours power reserve is just incredible. So lastly, I'll summarise the piece. What do I think of it overall? Well, when I'm considering reviewing a watch on my channel, the watch will meet 2 criteria. It should be both excellent quality and excellent value at the respective price point. So the price point of this piece is €9,600. Yes, it is unquestionably excellent quality, and yes, it is unquestionably excellent value at €9,600. I'm going to put this piece into perspective. What one is getting with this piece is a Holy Trinity level piece. And when I'm talking about Holy Trinity, I'm referring to Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet and Vacheron Constantin respectively. This Girard-Perregaux Heritage Laureato is equal quality to those Holy Trinity pieces such as the Patek Philippe Nautilus and the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak respectively. That is the level of quality we're looking at here. The quality of the head of the piece, the finishing to the bezel, the head of the piece and the caseback are all 10 out of 10. Absolutely flawless. Every facet is finished to perfection. The quality of the integrated H-link bracelet is finished to perfection. The quality of the 2-button push deployment is finished to perfection. There are no negatives to this piece whatsoever. It really is just incredible. It is a purist Girard-Perregaux collector's piece because this is a Heritage Laureato, one of only 225 pieces made with the Clou de Paris dial in silver, and 225 pieces were made with the Clou de Paris dial in blue. So therefore this is number 186 of 225, highly collectible. So it's a very strong investment piece and very sought after by purist Girard-Perregaux collectors. They like the Heritage Laureato from 2016 onwards. So I'm going to highly recommend it to you for your consideration. I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Girard-Perregaux Heritage Laureato. Please feel free to post your own comments below the video. Thank you very much.